Yeah, so what I was saying is while we're on our break there, I had a couple of students approach me to say that they had lost connectivity to their lab devices. So I thought I'd just take this opportunity to look at how we go about troubleshooting that situation. So, so let's just demonstrate the problem to begin with. So the first device is actually in rack 2, it's SRXD1, and it has an IP address of 10.10.40.67. So let's take a look at that and see what's going on there. So here, SSH 10.10.40.67, so we're trying to connect to it, and nothing much is happening. Okay, so nada, we're not going to get a connection. So the first thing I like to do in that situation, of course we're going to close PuTTY, is I like to do a connectivity test just to see if we actually have a connectivity to the device. So let's just do a ping test, and as you see, we do not. So no, we don't have connectivity to the device at all. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to get ourselves a telnet connection to the access server and access it through the console. 40.29. Let's open that and let's log in there. So password, telnet. So let's look at this at the first device. It is in rack 2. It's SRXD1 in rack 2. So we're going to type in R2 SRXD-1. I'm going to open a connection, and now we're going to log in by LAB. Log in from the console with our standard login credentials. First thing I like to do is let's take a look at the interfaces. Let's see what's configured on the interfaces. So we're going to do a show interface terse. Let's take a look at that. And what that reveals is the IP address on the interface is 10.10.40.37. So, and our management interface is FE000. So let's looking at our management interface, we find the IP address is 10.10.40.37. So there is our problem. Obviously, we're trying to connect on 10.10.40.67, and we've got 37 on the interface. How did that happen? Well, the way that happens is that the wrong configuration has been loaded onto the device. Okay, so in this case, the configuration for SRXD1 in rack 1 has been loaded on SRXD1 in rack 2. So we're actually on rack 2. We're actually looking at the device that's physically in rack 2, but it has the configuration for the corresponding device which is in rack 1. All right, so how do we resolve that situation? Any ideas? Hey? Rollback, yeah, rollback might work, but we're gonna, yeah, let's just go ahead and load the proper configurations. Let's just make sure we've got connectivity to our FTP server. 10.10.40.12. Yep, all looks good. That's all working fine. Let's grab the configuration that we need. So here we are, FTP server. Let's go down to Juniper. We're looking at class configs. We are in rack 2, and we are looking at device. We're actually, what course? What do you want to load, guys? What are you up to? What lab are you up to? Are we doing IJOS? Are we doing JRE? Are you up to IJOS? Okay. We are on device D1. Where are you up to? The start? Yep, okay, let's copy that. So we are going to copy the link location over to here, into config and load, override that, enter, and commit. So that causes a couple of problems. Obviously, it's a problem for you who are trying to access the device, but it's also a problem for the guys who have the device in rack 1, because now they've got 2 devices configured with their IP address. All right, which means that they probably don't have access either. All right, so we'll do this. We'll do this commit and quit. And then we'll do another check, do another interface check. We'll do an SSH check, and we'll see where we go. Show interface terse. See what we've got, and look at that. There's the right config, looking good. Let's do a ping test, and there we are. It's all working. Okay. So now we're going to be able to connect, no problems at all, via SSH, aren't we? It's going to be working fine. Let's open up a new connection to that, 40.67, and away we go. Looking good. Okay, so we're able to log in as lab 123. All good. So that was easier to solve, wasn't it? That was an easy one. Let's jump out of there. Alrighty. So far, so good. So let's just exit that. That's that one sorted. Let's now we've got another one, which is the SRX-A1 in Lab 1 has got a connectivity problem as well. Its IP address is 10.10.40.31, so we'll do a quick ping test to that and see what happens. 31. And yes, as expected, we do not have connectivity. Okay, so let's sort this out. Of course, we won't be able to SSH to that. So let's on our access server here, Control-Shift-6-X. Let's just, we're finished with the first connection, so let's just disconnect from that. Disconnect one. Yep. Okay, so now we're going to go into R1 SRX-A1. Okay, why is that a problem? SRX-A1. R1 SRX. That's actually the right command for it. But we can't get it. Is anybody else connected to it? Has anybody else got a telnet connection to it? You have? Hey? You're just closing it. Did you do a disconnect for me? Yep. Okay, let's have another go. And yep, now we're in. Okay, all good. So you only have one at a time. Alrighty, so I'm going to log in as lab 123. Here we are. So we're in, and let's do a show interface terse. So I'm looking for 10.10.40.31/24, and that's what I've got. That's what I've got, right? We've got that, but still no connection. What is happening here? Alrighty. Let me show you the issue that we have here. Remember I said this device has 2 modes. It can be a firewall or it can be a router. All right. Let's see which it is, because that's going to determine what our problem might be. So we can do that by going show security mode. Okay. Oh, hang on. Let's go back to here. I'm going to go show. Let's do this. let's do, I think it's security flow status. Status, that's what I want. Status. Okay. Show security flow status. So we are in forwarding mode, which is flow-based. Now, flow-based means that this is currently configured as a firewall, not a router. Now, the thing about configuring as a firewall is that this is a zone-based firewall. I'm just going to do a show conf while we're looking at that. This is a zone-based firewall, and the rules are that unless you put an interface into a zone, then no traffic will pass through that interface. Okay, now we haven't done this subject yet, but we're doing this next term. But one of the issues is if I look through the configuration, no zones are referenced in the configuration at all, and no interfaces are put into a zone. So because no interfaces are in a zone, then no interfaces will pass traffic on this device. So the solution is, let's turn it back into a router. Okay, that's the solution. How do we do that? Well, into configuration mode, and the command is set forwarding options, family MPLS mode, family MPLS. What I need to do is I'm just looking for where I'm going with this here. Actually, I think it is security forwarding options. That's what I want. Family MPLS mode. I want to go packet based. So that's the command there. Set security forwarding options, family MPLS mode, packet based. Enter. And now I'm going to commit. And I will get a message coming up here saying, hey, you've changed the forwarding mode, and therefore now you need to reboot your device. So there it comes up. It's saying rebooted. If you're in a cluster, make sure you reboot both nodes. And it will come up with a commit complete here shortly. And then I will have to reboot the device. And then once it's rebooted, it'll all work again. Okay, so that's the thing there. Set security forwarding options, family MPLS mode, packet based is the command. It's commit complete, all happy. And so now it is a request a system reboot. Yes, thank you. And that will reboot. Okay, so once it's rebooted, it'll all be good. Okay, so we won't wait around for that to happen. What we'll do is we will dive out of our session and let it do its thing. Disconnect one, and yeah, okay, so we've disconnected that, and we will exit our access server. All right, and there we are. Bit of troubleshooting for the day.